Record. All right, cool. So for those of you who don't know, I know that everybody that's on this call pretty much knows that Sarah, Tanner, Brooke, and myself have been teaming up. We are sharing these team calls so that you guys can get a little bit of our different styles, and maybe you might hear something that you've heard 10,000 times, but maybe just hearing it in a different way or just from a different perspective, it might click for you. So we are pairing up to kind of share some new information and just from a different perspective for all of you guys so that we can help get our team some momentum, help you with anything that you may be struggling with, and kind of share some things that are working well for us. My name is Corey Mayo. I am the founder and CEO of Team Living Healthy and Fit. I have been a coach for 4.5 years. I didn't work my business the first 18 months or so of the business. So I've really been consistently working my business for about 32 months. And I know that to the day because that's how many months I've been in Success Club running. So that gives you a little bit about me. I do have a pretty big weight loss story. My husband and I both have shed about 60 pounds together, so 120 pounds total. And we have 2 little boys that the first little boy is what started this. You know, we looked at him and decided we needed to be healthy for him. We started our journey after we shed our first lot of weight, like 50 pounds-ish. We got pregnant with baby number 2 and then got started right back at it after I had him. So that's a little bit about me. Tonight, I want to share with you a bit about recruiting, and if you don't like that term, sharing the coaching opportunity, because I think that as a newer coach, this is one of the best things that we can offer to people is this community of people. And I also think it can be one of the most intimidating things to do as a newer coach. Has anybody else ever felt intimidated when you want to present the coaching opportunity, or maybe you're trying to invite people onto your team? I know I have, and I know I still get intimidated from time to time. So has anybody else felt like that? Yeah, for sure, right? We're all human. Like, we all go through times where we're like, oh, I don't know if I should ask her, you know, that sort of thing. And you kind of have a little bit of self-doubt from time to time. So what I'm going to share with you are 6 ways, 6 different ways that you can actually share the coaching opportunity and that have worked well for me, and that I share with my girls to help them invite onto their team as well. So number 1 is creating a list. So we all have a list of contacts, right? And if you don't, you need to get on that ASAP. Okay. When you create your list, you should be going through and identifying people who are rock stars, people who are go-getters, not people who necessarily need to lose weight and not people who necessarily are struggling financially. I will never forget the story that Jessica Hill tells, and it's when she first started out as a coach. She went through her contact list and was looking for all the people who were still living with their parents or living on the couch and didn't have anything. Well, they needed the opportunity, right? Because they needed an income and they needed something to motivate them. However, those people are not motivated people. So those people are not going to be go-getters and go out and inspire people and to reach a record amount of people and to build a strong team, right? So the people that you want on your team and the people that you want to be connecting with are those go-getters, those people who are super successful and who are motivated already, because they're going to be the ones who are going to run with you. They're going to be the ones who want to go out there and impact people's lives. So going through and making your dream team, making your list of your dream team. Something else that has really helped me as far as my list is when I'm adding to my list, because we should all be doing that on a constant basis, adding 2 to 5 people at least every single day to your list. If I come across somebody that is a brand new lead that I find is inspiring, I like what they're posting, I just really connect with that person, I am putting a star next to that person immediately. So that way when I go back and I maybe do a live webinar or something like that, which we'll talk about, I know who I want to invite. I can go to my list, they're already starred or highlighted or whatever works well for you, and you know who you want to connect with and to invite into the coaching opportunity, okay? So number 1 is simply making your dream team list and going through your list and reaching out to those go-getters. Number 2 is starring or marking awesome new contacts. Sorry, so I just went over that. I went over those and combined them in one. So that was what I was saying when you're adding to your list and you're just making sure that you're identifying who those rock star people are as you're adding them to your list. Number 3 is creating Facebook events. So this is huge, you guys, and making them a public event, not a private event. When you invite people to a coaching, whether it's a backstage pass or a sneak peek, or a live webinar, you want to be doing that through a Facebook public event. The reason to do that is because when somebody says that they're going, that actually goes into their friends' news feeds. And if they're commenting or engaging in that, it's also going into their friends' news feeds. So they're kind of like, you might get cold contacts that you didn't even know about. And they're going to go, oh, well, what's this that she's joining? I want to check it out too. And they may contact you as well. So always make it a public event so that way you're getting more exposure. Now, I said a couple names that some of you who may be newer, or maybe you're a veteran coach and you just aren't sure of all the different ways of sharing through an event. There's a backstage pass. Have any of you ever done a backstage pass? Couple? Okay. So backstage pass is basically where you're making a Facebook event and you're posting in that event for an hour. So we'll say at 8 p.m. it starts and you stop it at 9 p.m. and you're posting in that event like every 10 minutes and you're posting something about the coaching opportunity. You're sharing somebody's testimony. You're sharing what we do as coaches by putting that in the event. Okay. So that's what we would call a backstage pass. We also have what is called a sneak peek. I personally do not do these anymore. I don't discourage you from doing them, but it's not something that has been successful for me. And the reason is because people want information like this. Like, how quickly do you go through your newsfeed and you get bored, right? You want something now and you want the information now. So what I have personally found is a 5-day sneak peek is far too long. They don't have enough invested to know or to care about staying in a sneak peek for 5 days. So I started with a 5-day sneak peek. If you go to my YouTube channel, you're more than welcome to see the videos I created to kind of get an idea. I went off of Shay Stanford's content. You're more than welcome to check them out. They're very short blips that I would share in the sneak peek so that you kind of know what kind of content is ideal for something like that. I went from a 5-day sneak peek to a 3 because a 5-day was awesome the first time. And then the second time is okay. And then the third time it was crickets. So I shortened it up to 3 days because, like we said, people want information now. 3 days became too long. Like, it was successful the first time or two, and then it was like, it just kind of dropped off the map. So I do not do those anymore, but I do live webinars, and I host one live webinar every single month. It's the second Tuesday of every month for our team. And what I like about the live webinar is it's just like this. You get to see their faces. They get to see your face. They get to see you being real, and it's not something that's just typed out or a video that you edited to make perfect or anything like that. They get to see the raw you, and you stutter over your words and you be a real person who is not perfect. And I really like doing that format. And much like Tanner had a slideshow, I do a slideshow. So that way I keep on task and I don't start to ramble and I don't vomit on people too much information. I will follow that. That is also on my YouTube channel. If your upline is not currently doing something like that, and you're more than welcome to check out that content. I did a mixture of Jessica Hill's live webinar as well as Kelly Hanner's. So, and I just kind of put my own twist on it, sharing about the coaching opportunity and what coaching has done for me, okay? So I strongly encourage you to do that. If you are afraid to do that, I get it. Like, I get that getting on camera like this is intimidating, and especially if you're a newer coach. Just do it though. Like, it's so much fun. And I promise you that you will get addicted to it and it becomes fun and you want to do more. If you are struggling with it, pair up with somebody. Like, ask somebody on your team to do it and just do it. Like, what's going to happen? You know what I mean? Like, you're going to learn and you're going to grow and you're going to know how to do it better next time. So pair up with somebody. I know for myself, if one of my girls were to come to me and say, hey, will you do a live webinar with me? Absolutely. you know? So reach out to your upline, reach out to your success partner, get something going so that you guys are stepping into that leadership role, because people follow leaders and people who are willing to step up. So I strongly encourage you to set one up for October. Like, just put it on the calendar and make it happen so that you can invite people and share what an amazing opportunity this is with people around you and people who are following you. Okay? So then number 4 is going to be posting sprinkle posts on social media. So sprinkle post, what does that mean? That is where you're sharing something that's really cool about the coaching opportunity that you love without it being a hook post, without it being like, if you're interested, comment below or message me. You're just simply like, something I love to do is send out cards or gifts to my girls when they reach a rank advancement, or they're doing really well and I send them little notes, my little gold and white notes. I send them little cards in the mail, and I'll just take like a picture of me holding a bunch of them at the post office, or getting in the car to go to the post office, be like, number blah, 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 why I love being a health and fitness coach, or why I love my job, or is this really my job? I get to send presents to people. Like, this is amazing. Like, things like that, things that you enjoy. If you get to have a day off, if you're already a full-time coach, like being able to just have your own schedule, like that's something to post about. To us, it's just everyday life, and we kind of forget about that because we're just going through the motions. But don't forget to share that. It's because of this opportunity that you're able to have the freedom of your time and to do things. I started taking a day off in the middle of the week. I need to share about it. Yeah, like doing things like that, because you forget. Like, it's just something that you start to do and you don't share with people because you're like, it's just everyday life. But that's not everyday life for everybody, you guys. So share that. Being proud of the fact that you maybe paid off a credit card, or you were able to make your credit card payment with the earnings that you made from Beachbody. Think about the things that this is doing for you. Maybe you were in a really dark place and the community of people has really uplifted you and been there for you. You know, things like that. Share that with people. It doesn't necessarily have to be a hook where you're like inviting them to join you. It's just sharing how amazing this opportunity has been. What did you say, Sarah? Let me see. I always say if you made $5 or $50, it puts the gas in the tank, and talk about it. Okay, so we're going to get off subject a little bit here, but that's a perfect example. So here's the thing, you guys. You might think that $50 is little, but $50 is relatable. It is so relatable. When you start getting higher in rank and you're making more money, and maybe you've retired yourself or you've retired your husband, it is far harder for an average person to relate to that than it is for them to relate to putting take a gas in your car, or paying for your groceries, or paying for your kids' activities. That stuff is what is relatable for the average person right now. So don't ever think that that is not good enough. That is something that is going to get people to reach out to you. When you start getting higher in rank, which is not that it's a bad thing, but when you start getting higher in rank, it's harder for people to relate to those bigger incomes, and it's harder for people to envision that. So don't forget how small, or you might think it's so small, but how impactful that can be to people. Okay, so that's a sprinkle post. Does that make sense? Are we all on the same page? Cool. All right. So the next is posting, inviting on social media that are a hook post. So paid for my shake. See, exactly. Those are perfect examples. So a hook post is where you're actually inviting people, or you're opening your internship, or you're entering a mentoring program or something like that, where you're actually inviting people to comment below or message you directly if what you're sharing is inspiring them, or if they're ready to make changes in their life. So the difference is you're just posting something similar. You're sharing your story. You're sharing what the opportunity has done for you. But then at the end, you're saying, I am, opening a mentorship for, 3 new women who are ready to make changes in their life, or something like that. So you're inviting them to join you. Okay. All right, cool. So the last one is my bread and butter. It is what I go to, and it is how I have built my business, and it is challenge groups. It is your challengers. And It's so simple, you guys. Like, we're here to help people, right? We're here to share health and wellness and inspire people to make changes in their life. So make your challenge groups freaking awesome. Pour your love and heart into those people because they're already on board with you. And once they get into a challenge group, we don't have to worry about the product. That's going to sell itself. They're going to get amazing results if they do the program. They're going to love Shakeology if they drink it because they're going to feel the health benefits of it. They're going to start growing as a person if they're diving into the personal development that you're recommending and sharing with them, or daily affirmations that you're sharing with them. They're already going to be feeling that high. They're already going to have people asking them questions. What are they doing? Well, you know, what has changed that they're feeling so good? And they're going to be sharing that with everybody because they feel good. What do you do? What do you do when you have a good experience with something? If you go into like, I don't know, Aeropostale or something like that. I don't even shop there, so I'm not really sure why that popped in my head. But like, if you go there and their customer service is kick ass and they tend to you like hand and foot and they get you whatever you need, blah, Victoria's Secret's probably a better one. They like pamper you when you go in. So you want to tell that to your friends. You're like, girl, you should go talk to this girl because she was really good, blah, blah, blah. They're already doing that. So when you're feeling good and you're doing a program, you start doing this, right? You start talking to everybody and telling them how good you're feeling, and you just start talking about it because you feel so good. So pour your heart and soul into your challenge groups. I do 2 a month. I do them the first Monday and the third Monday of every month. But, you know, if that's a little bit too much at first, do one group. Make sure you're doing at least one group every single month that you're inviting people to and you're giving them a good experience. Don't worry about the challenge pack. Don't worry if they bought it on Amazon. Guys, I had started on a burnt copy of P90X. Don't worry about that shit. Just worry about getting the person help. Provide value. Now, I'm not saying keep giving this person a bunch of your time if they aren't willing to invest back in you, but don't get hung up on the little stuff like that, okay? Just get people involved. If Kelly would have given up on me because I got a burnt copy, which, by the way, I've bought the copy of P90X, obviously, but if she would have given up on me because I got it from a friend and I wasn't ready to invest that $120 or whatever it was at the time, she would have like 500 less coaches on her team, and she would have one less one-star diamond on her team. So don't discount those people either. But so that I kind of got off on a tangent, but just, you know, plug your community into a good community of people and make that challenge group awesome. Keep it simple. Try not to overcomplicate things. Okay. All right. So those are the 6 ways that I share and that I have found the most successful to share. I'm going to check the comments really quick because there's a couple. I love you too. I don't know what I said, that probably just random stuff. I don't know. Okay, so how I ask. So I want to tell you a little bit about how I invite to the coaching opportunity. My girls know this because it's in our files and I talk about it all the time. But okay, so when I actually go to approach somebody about the coaching opportunity, I first start with general conversation. What were you last talking about? What connects you with that person? Just be real. Like, how you wouldn't just walk up to somebody on the street or like a friend that you haven't seen in a long time and be like, hey girl, so I find you really inspiring, so I wondered if you would join me in this coaching opportunity. But no, you'd probably say, hey girl, like, how are you? How was your weekend? I've had a sick baby the last couple of days, so it's been kind of crazy and sucks, but you know, that's life, whatever. You ask them about them and you tell them a little bit about what's going on with you, right? So you reconnect and establish that connection again. Then I edify that person and tell them why I think they would be a good coach. Are they inspiring? What qualities do you admire about them? Like, what made you put them on the dream team to begin with? Are they inspiring? Are they motivated? Are they a go-getter? Are they into health and fitness? Are they sharing nutrition? Were they kick ass in your challenge group? Like, edify that person and tell them exactly why you think that they would be a good coach. And then after I tell them why I admire them, I simply ask them if they have ever considered doing what I do as a health and fitness coach. Okay. Sometimes they'll say, no, I really don't know, or I kind of have, but I don't know enough about it, or whatever. They'll give you their answer. Very rarely will they say no, I'm not interested. I don't know that I've ever had that, to be honest. Like they'll say, no, I've never considered it, or I don't know much about it, or they'll say, yes, I have, but I just don't really have the time, or something like that. So then when they answer me, I just simply say, awesome, girl, like, you know, kind of talk about what we were talking about. And then I'll say, if I were to, would you? That's from Eric Worre. If I were to share a short 25-minute video with you, would you watch it? Or if I were to share a short 25-minute video about the opportunity, would you watch it? And that's exactly how I say it. My webinar that I have recorded and used is like 23 minutes long, so it's not terribly long, but it gives all the details about coaching, okay, and answers all their questions. Don't be the messenger, you guys. It's okay if you have a recording like that that's you, which is awesome because then they can see your personality, but don't be the messenger right in that moment. Use a third-party tool. If you don't yet have a live webinar, I can almost guarantee that your upline already has one recorded. And if they don't, then I know that Kelly does. I'm sure that April does. I'm sure that somewhere along the way your upline has a recording that you can use, okay? I personally don't use the Beachbody ones. I think it's a little bit more personal to use my own, and they get a little feel for me. But, or even if it's my girls, they're getting a feel for who our team is and what we represent. So use a third-party tool. There's also, and if Tina, Brooke, or Sarah, if you guys want this, Janelle Summers uses, like if somebody is really busy and maybe doesn't have the 25 minutes to sit down and watch a video, she uses a bullet point list. And I have that. She actually sent that to me. So if you are interested in that, you can shoot them a bullet point list that like basically goes through the same things you would cover on a webinar, but it's like bullet point lists, okay? So use a third-party tool, and then make sure before you actually send that, yeah, I'll send that. I'll put it in our thread that we have with all of us. Before you actually send the third-party tool, I will just say, hey, girl, like I try to get that person on the phone, but that doesn't always work. So I'll say, you know, when would work for you, or when will you have time to watch the 25-minute video and set up a short phone call with me? If the phone call is not going to work, or I know that I'm going to be a little busy, I'll just say, hey girl, would it be okay if I follow back up with you and I give them a couple days or a day? If they say, hey, I can watch it today, I'll say, okay, great. Do you mind if I follow up with you tomorrow? Something like that, okay? So always make sure that you have a scheduled time to follow up, so that way you can check in with that person. And when you follow up, this is a little bit of beyond really what we're talking about, but when you follow up, don't just say, so what'd you think? Ask them what they liked about the video. You want them to remember the things that they connected with, that was relatable to them, and that inspired them to want to be a part of this. So ask them what they liked about what they watched, or about what they read in the bullet points, and then go from there. Awesome, could you tell me a little bit more about that? Something like that, so that you're getting what they really enjoyed about it, and you're getting a sense for them and what's going to motivate them to want to be a good coach, okay? Do we have any questions so far? No? Am I talking like crazy fast because I've had so much energy boost and energized today? I'm like, I don't know. I can't even talk like the Energizer Bunny or something. I don't know. Okay, so my last couple points are the things that I have learned. So be confident. Be confident and just do it. I like the phrase, fake it till you make it. And I think that there's a couple ways you can interpret that. And I don't mean fake it till you make it, be a fake person. I mean, take on the persona of the person who you want to be. What is your goal? Are you shooting for 1 star? Are you shooting for 5 star? Are you shooting for 15 star? And maybe you're a coach, or maybe you're Emerald. But you have to take on that confidence of that person that you're going to be. You have to take that leadership role and put yourself in that 15 star or 5 star diamond shoes, and present the opportunity to people with the confidence that a 5 star would, because people are attracted to that and people are going to follow you. So the fake it till you make it doesn't mean you're being fake. It just means that you're taking on the persona of who you want to be, okay? envision rock stars being on your team. So I don't know if you guys listen to You Are a Badass, or if you have, it's a phenomenal book. I listen to the audio often because it just really motivates me and I relate to that a lot. But you have to envision rock stars. Like, if you think about this, when you're typing and you're inviting somebody either to a challenge group or to the coaching opportunity, are you saying to yourself while you're typing, are you sitting there going, she's going to say no, it's going to be a money issue, it's going to be this, it's going to be that, you know, do you have all these things flooding through your mind that they're going to say no, or that they're not going to respond, or that they're not going to open the message because they think you're being a salesperson? That's exactly what's going to happen if that's what you're thinking while you're doing it. Okay, so when you're presenting a challenge group or the coaching opportunity, smile. They might not be able to see you, but it comes across. I promise you it does. The genuine person that you are, if you're smiling and you're happy and they're like, you know that they're going to join you and they're going to be excited about what you're offering them. If you put that into the universe, it's going to come back to you, I promise. I catch myself smiling all the time when I'm inviting people, one, because I love it, and I know the impact it will have on people when they say yes and they join a group, but it's fun, you guys, so make it fun. Isn't that what Melissa McAllister, the National Wake Up Call, was about? You have to enjoy what you're doing. Like, have fun with it. So envision those people saying yes. Envision them being rock stars and going 5-star or whatever and just shooting for the moon with you and running alongside you, okay? And then they have to be ready. I guarantee you, you all had to be ready at your time. I know that I didn't say yes right away. Brooke, I know that you're just like me and had to freaking dive into all the details of everything and wanted to know a lot of answers before you said yes too. You have to be ready on your own terms. I have girls on my team who said no or maybe ignored me for over a year, and now they're here. And that's okay. We all have to be ready. You guys, remember, this is an amazing opportunity, but not everybody's quite ready for it. So don't let those no's get you down. Put them on the follow-up list and just keep checking in and being a friend to that person and keep building that relationship. And when it's their time, they will come back around. So be patient. Okay? That's all I have. Did I go really fast because I'm crazy? Oh, not too bad. 30 minutes. Woo!
That's awesome. I think you did awesome, Corey.
Thank you, love. I'm telling you what, that's the first time. Today's the first day I've used the focused energy or whatever boost, and I love it.
Yeah, I've never tried it. I have to try it. I wanted to get it for Zach because he's always so tired, but I have to try it.
Yeah. Yeah, I took that like 10:30 this morning or whatever, and I just felt really focused while I was working today, and then I obviously took my Energize to push through chisel cardio today. But so if you girls have any questions, I'm free game if you have any. If not, that's fine too, but if you have any questions, I would love to answer them.
Corey, you said the majority of your team comes from challengers, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's something that I definitely need to get better at, is making my challenge groups better. I'm actually, my team's getting on a call this week, and we're going to totally revamp it and stuff. So I think that'll be good. That's a good tip. We focus so much on cold market that we forget to put challengers first. So.
Yeah, and I think that it's really where you're at in the stage and what you're comfortable with. A lot of my girls, too, feel more comfortable building that relationship with somebody in a challenge group and then inviting them rather than inviting right off the bat cold market. And another thing I find is that typically, not always, but typically somebody who's been in a challenge group and then enrolls as a coach 2 or 3 weeks in, they're ready to hit the ground running because they have experience with the product and they're ready to share that with people, or they've already been sharing that with people.
Yeah, I agree. They're a little bit more invested into it.
Yeah. Yeah, and they have belief. You know, I think one of the hardest things as a new coach is building belief within the products, but if you've already been using them, you have that belief, but then building belief within yourself that you can push for this.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Well, if you ever have any questions, I mean, I kind of change mine up from time to time, but I really just push being connected with making sure they're doing their Shakeology and their workout. I am in the group at least once a day, if not twice a day, every day. And doing the personal development. I really push that in my groups too, to get people to dive into that, because I think that's a huge part of it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, it's a good call.
Thank you. Thank you for everybody for being on. All right, if nobody else has any questions, if you can think of anything, I'll let you all go. You're welcome. I see you, Brooke. You're welcome, love. Love you. Thank you all for jumping on the call, and I love Brooke, Tanner, and Sarah. Thank you so much, girls, for doing this. I think it's been a lot of fun. We have Miss Brooke next week. I'm excited to hear what she has to say. And then the following week, we have our panel. So that will be exciting. Yeah, get all four of us at one time. Get ready. You better get your focused energy or whatever it is so that you can listen to all of us and take good
notes. My gosh, that's going to be awesome.
Well, I'll have to take Energize before that call.
Oh, yeah.
All right, loves. Well, have a good night. For my girls, if you're staying on for the mentoring call, we'll just stay on now. And good night.